And here we go, guys! Argh versus Somero, game number 1 of the series. Best of 5 series. Round of 36 over here. Whoever wins moves on to the round of 18. Whoever loses gets knocked out of the tournament. If people that aren't subs don't see the ads, does that reduce your revenue somehow? I don't think so, because Twitch is only going to display so many ads, and sometimes, even if you're not sub, and I run a commercial break, you're not going to get any commercials, and it's going to be dependent on, you know, how much ad space the, you know, Twitch clients buy, where you are based on as well. Sometimes certain people in certain locations are not going to get commercials at all because there are no people trying to advertise in that area on Twitch. So yeah, it's like, let's say you have an ad blocker. I don't think that's going to affect you too much necessarily, because I don't think right now Twitch is at the point where they have saturated the commercial time on streams. I don't know if any of that makes sense. Adblock Plus don't know? Did that for Jeff? Yeah. You know, being a Twitch partner and streaming on Twitch for a living, the fact that Twitch is owned by Amazon, I am, as you might expect, actually pretty upset with Amazon and, you know, subsequently Twitch as well as company. So I do not really care if you talk crap about Jeff or do not want to support Twitch or Amazon in any way. They have already been taking enough money from my channel and from us as a community as of recent times, of course, that I honestly do not care. If it was up to me, I would leave Twitch, but this is where I get most of my income these days, and this is where most of the Age of Empires 2 community is as well, because the experience, despite the company, Twitch itself being pretty scummy, the experience for watching live streams is much better over here compared to many of the other alternatives, right? But yeah, if it was possible for me to, let's say, switch from Twitch over to YouTube without having the very, very, very impactful drop in revenue that I'm very sure it's going to happen, then I would probably do it. Because I'm tired of being treated like this for all the effort that I have put and all the income that I have generated for this company. But I don't want to get too bitter on stream, sorry about that. We are just going to try and get into the game once again. Another player giving me flashbacks to a certain 5-hour game. Oh boy. No, Teo, don't worry. Subscribers do not get any commercials. Isn't YouTube's cut of subs even less than Twitch? Oh yeah, it's much less. It's so much less. We could go on and on talking about all the things that Twitch does that really kind of screw their content creators, but there is, what is that going to achieve, right? I'm not going to leave the platform. This is where I make my living. You're not going to leave the platform either. This is the best experience as a viewer. So it doesn't really do much of anything. So let's just focus on the game. Argh playing with Berbers, and we just saw the civilization in the previous game, although it was for a different series. Let's go through it once again. We'll get 15 and 20% cheaper stable unit production in the Castle and Imperial Ages, right? 10% faster moving skirmishers. Actually, sorry, villagers and ships. Ships, of course, not going to be relevant over here. On top of that, for the Berbers, we'll get, in addition to that, Janitors available as a unit, as a unique unit from the stable. It's going to be a very interesting one, a mounted skirmisher type unit. Meanwhile, Somero playing with Pulse will get villagers that regenerate HP 5, 10, 15, and 20 HP per minute in the Darkfield Castle and Imperial Ages. We have on top of that for Somero, with the Pulse, 0.33 units of gold that he generates for each unit of stone that he collects with villagers. Besides that, the Pulse will also have access to Folwark. He gets for the team bonus 1 bonus damage against archetype units from Scotland units. And that's going to be about it for the most part. Now let's take a look at the map generation. Argh, the bull player, will get the main gold on the left hand side. There we go. Secondary goal is going to be on the right-hand side. And then for stone on the other hand, we have the main stone on the right-hand side beyond the wood line over here, though, on the back. Shouldn't be too hard to protect, though, anyway. And then he's got the secondary stone up in the north. Because he's kind of close to the corner of the map. Going for something from here to here. And then perhaps this. Should be good enough for him to secure this, to secure the berry bushes. Not so much the golds. So it seems like he's going to go for the walls towards the wall line over here. He's going to completely close himself off. Maybe something like this instead. But yeah, that would basically allow him to secure this. Right? In addition to the stone up in the north. But the golds are going to be exposed. Plus, he will be able to secure a wall line over here that we cannot see. But it's behind the scoreboard. We have the normal TNT Titans logo instead of the silver one. This one, the one that I'm using right now, yeah, I changed it. They had many options available for streamers, so I assumed that it was fine to have this one up. Let me check. Mainly because it's got text in it. This one looks much nicer anyway. Yeah, because the other one is just a helmet and doesn't really have the name or anything on it. And because it doesn't really have anything... Oh, yeah, Stonewall's coming out for Somero. Interestingly enough, he's been the first player to go up to the village, though. Argh is going to try to fast castle, so what Somero's trying to go for over there is just trying to prevent Argh from getting any damage down once he gets to the castle edge. Since Somero's stonewalls should allow the red player to hold on over here until he gets to the castle edge. When the blue player is going to be the one going up faster, and he's going to be the one starting to put pressure earlier. So yeah, the other one, right? This logo looks too massive in the space that I have. It doesn't really have any information on it, so I decided to go for this one. But they did provide it as an option though in the Discord server, so I'm assuming that it's fine to have it. Yeah. It was actually provided on tail end of November, so it was on purpose. Somero, this is the arena. Any map can be arena if you're patient enough.
Yes.
Alright, the walls are coming up and Somero's gonna be fine, man. All he's gotta do is just close the gap over here on the left hand side. But this puts him in a very decent spot. If we take a look at the... Okay, like this is also fine. If we take a look at the map generation for the red player, you will see that he does have the main goal inside the walls already on the left-hand side. Well, it's kind of exposed, but it doesn't matter. Hey, check this out! Argh is going for the Lion Rush over here with the Spearman. Okay. And, well, it doesn't seem like it's going to achieve much of anything, unfortunately, for him. We take a look at the rest of the map generation for Somero. He's got the secondary goal on the right-hand side. It's part of the walls as well. Should be able to collect from it, but it's not going to be the most efficient, of course. And then the main stones on the back, the secondary stone, will be actually up in the north, very far away. But like this, he does end up securing a bunch of resources. The wool line over here as well, the wool line over here as well. It's pretty good. Somero meant to sign up for Clown Legion League. Yeah. Yeah, there we go. In the end, the Lions over here won't really be achieving much of anything. Shouldn't he have walled in front of the secondary stone? The secondary stone over here, this one? That would have been too greedy though, I think. Or you mean this one? This is a neutral stone. If you meant this one, he could have gone for it. Yeah, he decided not to. I'm really sure if he wasn't aware of the wool line over here. Yeah, I guess that's probably it. He didn't know about the dragon trees. Castle is gonna be here for Argh. As expected, he is up much earlier. Oh, it's open though! It's overchopped and we see the spearman over there. It will get punched down by the villagers. Meanwhile, up in the north, Somero scouts going to keep on roaming around. Just try to get some intel right now, of course. It's unlikely a single scout's going to be able to get any damage down over here, given the amount of villagers we have from the bull player, plus the knights coming out. So all he's trying to do is get in vision of what exactly Argh is going for. Now he spotted both the stables. He spotted the gold miners over here on this kind of bastion looking portion of the walls. And he spotted the knights, right? So he will get cleaned up. Well, Somero, on the other hand, because of the stone walls, he should be fine already. Can you show his point of view to see if he scouted that wall line? I'm assuming you're talking about Somero. Yeah, earlier he did not see the wall line over here. Right? And it seems like he might not have realized about the stone perhaps either. He has vision of one tile, but if he was not paying attention over there, it's going to be very hard to spot just in the minimap. Extra stone walls coming out behind the production buildings from Somero. He gets to the castle edge and we see immediately the second and third TCs coming up. Let's take a look at Argh on the other hand. He does have a second TC coming up down the south. Yeah, no stables. Actually, sorry, no monasteries coming up over here for the bull player whatsoever. Doesn't seem like he's interested in going after relics after all. By going for the TC at the center, he certainly shows interest in getting control of the center. So if he gets control of the center and full goal access over here, he doesn't need the relics, right? Somero is going to need these potentially. Let's take a look to see if he knows about the right hand side one. We know that he knows about the left hand side one. He knows about this one, so he could potentially collect those. But yeah, he's not really going for it just yet, although he's got the monastery and he starts going for monks. It's going to be only a matter of time. Argh's got enough resources to go for the 30C. Because he already has one over here close to the center, it'd probably be better for him to get a defensive TC up. Honestly, I wouldn't be against the bull player going for the TC over here right next to the goal, so he can also protect the wool line over there as well, something like this, right? Meanwhile, at the center, he starts collecting some stone. Oh, okay, he's going for the TC right next to the stone. But he starts going for some stone, and once he gets enough to go for a castle, well, that's when the bull player actually goes and tries to get full control of the center. Going for one castle over here, potentially even closer to the relic, a little bit further forward, would allow him to secure this gold. Secure these golds as well in the back, fantastic, and then he would be able to deny all of these from the red player. And this one, not so much. This one, not so much. But that'd be a great start for the bull player if he was intended to go for full center control. At this point in time, though, because Somero did get the extra TCs up earlier, despite the fact of him going up to the castle age later, he does start pulling ahead in work count, and this is exactly why he was going for the stone walls earlier. He knew that it was the bull player who was going to get to the castle age earlier, so he wanted to secure himself against any castle pressure, play for the castle age himself, and just try to go for economy. Now, this is something that comes with some risks. If Argh had gone for the second and third TCs as soon as he got up to the castle age, then Somero would be behind in work count right now, and Somero would be playing catch up in economy. So it's interesting to see for sure. But for the most part, yeah, Somero's still looking pretty alright. And in the end, he did end up getting away with it, right? It was not necessarily going to be the case. It came with some risks, and he does get away with it. So you see stone walls and you're blue. Do you stop production ASAP to go heavy stone and cast drop his face's defense? If you see the stone walls coming up over here, you are expecting him to make a play for economy. If you went out to the castle age earlier and you had vision of the stone walls coming up from the fuel age, going for extra TCs as early as you can when going out to the castle age earlier will allow Argh to get ahead in economy. But the problem is that if he does that, he's going to have a very small window once he gets up to the Imperial Age to get some damage done against Somero before the economy from the Pulse eventually overtake the economy from Berbers. So I think probably the better way to go about it would have been for Argh to try and go for full pressure over here and try to punish the red player rather. Instead, Argh waited, he saw the walls, and he waited a long time before going for the extra TCs, by which point Somero already had the extra TCs up, and now it is the Berber player to be playing catch up against the Poles, and this puts Argh in a very precarious position. So he had 2 ways to go about it that I think would have been much better than this. I think would have given him better chances of taking this game, and he went for neither. So right now I'm liking Somero's position much better. He's gonna be the first player to the Imperial Age. He's got a stronger economy. He's got civilization with a stronger economy anyway, right? So honestly, I don't really think Argh's gonna be able to do too much over here. So long as Somero plays his cards right, I think Somero is going to be in a much better position. Yeah, it kind of looks like that. Hey Joel, this is not live. No, these are recorded games. All the round 36 series that we have still left to cast are recorded games. And Howardcraft, thank you so much for the resub. Welcome back, 16 months. Let's go. Hope you had a great time this month. I hope you guys are enjoying the end of the year as well. I hope 2022 was hopefully not too crappy for anybody. And hopefully 2023 is going to be even better for you. Barbarian composition do match up well against Poles, right? I mean, technically, yes, he does get a discount on camels, which will counter pretty much anything that Somero is going to go for from the stables, right? Hussar and Knights. The problem is that Somero, which lack the privileges, which he's going for right now, will get very cheap Knight production and numbers trump upgrades, numbers trump counter units as well. If you get enough Knights over here, and Somero's got already a stronger economy compared to Argh. If you get enough Knights coming out over here from Somero, it doesn't matter if Argh gets cheaper camels. He's just going to get overwhelmed. So I think it's going to be a power play over here from Somero. He's going to start going for Knights pretty heavily. And especially after he gets to the Imperial Age and he gets access to the camel upgrade, then, sorry, gets access to the Cavalier upgrade, then Argh's camels from the Castle Age won't do squat against those Knights. Cavalier, even. So there we go, Imperial Age is here for Mr. Somero. He's got some housing issues over here. Needs to start going for houses a lot more heavily, man, because if he's gonna start producing Knights as heavily as he can, which lack the privileges, he will need a lot of housing space. And here come the Knights. He's got the Cavalier upgrade coming up, only about a minute and 10 seconds away from him. Meanwhile, Argh on the other hand is trying to rack up enough resources to click out to the Imperial Age, but he's so far away still. Not necessarily from clicking out, but so far away from getting there. To defend against Cavalier, he's going to need heavy camels. 40 seconds for Somero to get it. Here we are. Big brain plays over here from Somero. Yes. Yes, sir. Guaranteeing the castle coming up. He's starting to go finally after the relic, so that's going to be the first one. He's got 2 more available, of course, but if he does end up securing the center, it may not matter, right? And there we are. We had treasures over here. This is nowhere near as strong a Cavalier production as I was expecting to see from Somero. I gotta be honest. I am a little bit underwhelmed by the production. It's got only 4 extra military units compared to Argh. It's a Cavalier, yes, but it's a Cavalier with only scale bar than armor. And not too great numbers. Only now going for chain bar than armor, meanwhile. Let's see. Here we go, the traps. Somero started to put some pressure. Poles OP against no half civilizations? Yeah, I mean, I would say Poles OP, period. Even against civilizations with half of the year, if you're able to take advantage of the mobility, right? That puts you in such a good spot. Might see the castles go down from Argh very soon. He's got about 7 villagers repairing over here. That's going to suffice to repair against a single trebuchet. We already have 4 from Somero, so no wonder Argh. This isn't the castle here for sure. There we go, and now the next one is going to be targeted by the trebuchet. Somero, he needs to start going for more units, man. The production is very lackluster. He's got 2 castles. He's got Argh coming in. Argh! There are no pikemen for Argh whatsoever, and the blue player does get access to hand cannoneer in the Imperial Age, so I'm kind of confused as to why Somero chooses to go for this. I'm telling you, I think Somero had gone for just 6, 7 stable full Cavalier production, he would already have overwhelmed Argh. Because there are camels, the Obuk against the camels, I legit think the Cavalier alone would have taken the camels down over here. Because Somero, if he focused on full 9 production, should have been able to very, very much overwhelm Argh's military count. Yeah, I mean, they're good. But he's gonna be producing only 2 at a time because of having 2 castles, well, he could have produced so many extra knights. Yeah, I guess we'll see. Argh is not going for chemistry, so he won't be able to go for hand cannoneer anytime soon, and it's gonna be Somero the one to go for the castle at the center. It's got the trebuchets coming up. That's gonna be 6 damn trebuchets taking the castle down from Argh. And there we go. The player's gonna try to defend himself. Doesn't seem like he's gonna be able to. Yeah, and the Obuk are pushing the camels away. We have hit the camels right now, so that is significantly stronger for Argh compared to before. But the castle crumbles. Now he's not going to have too many defenses for the gold around the center anymore. We'll see the Cavalier, the Obuk coming over here, as well as the trebuchets. Everything is at the center, but the Obuk, they push the camels away. We have some camel archers over here from Argh for sure, not enough to take the Obuk down, and in the end, the red player is looking so much stronger still. By a lot. There we are. Fantastic. We are getting to good numbers of Obuk now with the 3rd castle. Production has increased by about 50%. It's going to be Argh the one to make a play for knights this time around, going for the Cavalier upgrade. As the trebuchets keep on marching through, we're going to see the next castle getting targeted. No, we're gonna see the TC go down first, right? Just gonna try and push Argh away from the center. After all, this is where the majority of the gold is. If you take a look at the resource view, there's only about 1600 gold that is available for the bull player if he gets pushed away from the center. So it's very, very important for Somero. He's got the Obuk over here. He's got a little bit of a hill advantage as well. He's gotta be very careful though. The camels are in great numbers here as well. So we're gonna see the bull player actually fare really alright against the Obuk over here. But it seems like it's going to be pretty close though. In the end, the camels are getting completely wiped out. And with the extra production potential from getting the extra castle stab, now the Obuk have gotten to the numbers he needed. As Argh gets cleaned up over here, Somero will be the guy to take game number 1. And Argh is going to be the one dropping game number 1 over here. Find himself at a disadvantage against Somero, who is looking very strong. Yeah, there we go. Very well played with a great strat. Yes, fantastic execution. Let's take a look at the achievements before jumping into game number 2. What do we get? We're gonna have for military a very nice KD for Somero. The end's going to approach about 4-3. For the economy, we have a stronger economy for Somero with about 5,000 extra resources or so. For society, the villager max count is very similar between both these players. However, we see a total and current villager production that is much more favorable for Somero over here, in the sense that he did not produce quite as many villagers, but he was able to stay on a higher villager count towards the end of the game by losing fewer villagers compared to Argh, who ended up losing about 15. APM, it's looking quite comparable for both these players, between 60 and 70. Let's go back. And we are in game number 2. Never heard of Somero, but he's pretty good. Kind of like the games. Yeah, it's been fantastic. That is one thing that I really like about the Silver League over here, and even the Golden League, to be honest, from T90 Titans League. It's going to put a lot of players on the spotlight that usually would not really get quite as much exposure, right? And we have guys like Somero. We have guys, you know, like what we saw earlier, Uzi Cody, girls like Gabby as well, who would usually not do that well in like S tier tournaments, but over here they are going to have a chance of, you know, yeah, just getting on the limelight. Somero is a Black Forest player in top tier AE. Yes, many of the players over here are going to be very good on very specific game modes. So for instance, some of the guys that we saw earlier are going to be very strong on Arena, on Black Forest, but they're not going to be quite as well known to perform well in S tier tournaments, for instance. But it's always great to see them play. And many of these guys, by the way, will be significantly stronger in the future, the same way that players like Valas, which you might recognize, players like Vileze, which you might recognize, players like even your humble Hera, which you might recognize, not that long ago were very much non-S tier players themselves, you know? Then you have guys like freaking Andy, which went up in skill in this game so freaking fast in the span of a very short time. That is ridiculous. Many of these players could very well be, you know, tomorrow's Valas, tomorrow's Vileses, tomorrow's freaking Andy. After all, Overtaken as well has kind of had that happen to him as well. He's not quite as established at the very top, but he has gotten very high. You can see that Overtaken from the previous series, he was ranked 40 something, and he's actually been playing S tier tournaments. Not being getting very far, but he's kind of making a name for himself in the community, and many of these players are going to be doing the same in the next few years. So it's like we are getting a little bit of a head start, right? That's one of the things that I really like about the lower leagues of T90 Titans leagues. By the way, Nadia is no longer played. I don't think so. At the very least, I haven't seen her play too much. And yeah, that makes Gabby the strongest female player right now, I think. Once you get to 2K plus, is it better for players to work on build, strat, or AP? Oh, strat, 100%. 100% strat. Most 2K players are going to be able to execute on whatever build order pretty well, and it's all going to be about decision making, strategizing, and game execution. APM doesn't really matter that much. You have players which are much slower compared to much slower elo players. You know, at the very top of the ladder, you have guys like, honestly, I was going to say guys like Doubt, who are obviously extremely strong despite the fact that they are not very fast, but I don't think Doubt is any slower compared to any of these players, for instance, right? So if you have a somewhat comparable game effective APM for Somero, for Argh, and for Doubt, what is it that's making Doubt so much better? And that is experience, decision making, and overall, you know, strategizing, game sense, those kinds of intangibles that are so hard to develop. Some players get it by playing forever. Some players get it by being extremely analytical about the game. Seems like Dow never really takes a bad fight. Well, I mean, I wouldn't go as far as to say something like that, but for sure, if he ever takes a bad engagement, it's going to be against a player who is also on the same tier, right, in terms of game sense and whatnot. Like, if you pit out against any of these players, he's most likely not going to dominate without too many issues. And on an engagement against any of these guys, he's probably never going to take a bad fight. It's one of the things also that we realize whenever we watch these series. You will spot a few differences between the 2K players, even 2K2, even 2K3 players, some of them, compared to 2K4, 2K5, even 2K6 players and beyond as well. You will see the decision making, the game assessment is not quite as on point for guys like this. But they are very close. They are very close, and we have seen already players break through, you know, the top 200, the top 100 to the top 15 or so. Many of the ones that we already talked about. Regardless, though, we haven't really talked about the civilizations too much. We have Khmer for Argh, Somero's got Franks. For Argh, that means that he does not get affected by building requirements. With Khmer, he's going to have farmers who do not need mills or TCs to drop food on. Then in addition to that, we also see for the blue player the ability to garrison 5 villagers inside each house and 10% faster moving battle elephant line units. For the team bonus, the Khmer will also have 1 extra range and scorpion weapons, and then Somero with Franks will get free farm upgrades, 15% faster working foragers, as well as 20% extra HP on stable, actually cavalry type units, right? Starting in the FUH, as well as a 25% discount on castles. And that's about it. The map for game number 2, in case anybody is not familiar with this one, it's called Ravines. And it's kind of like standard Arabia, with the difference that around your starting TC location, you're going to have a, well, quite fittingly, a ravine with a bunch of resources. So we have the main gold over here, the secondary gold over here as well, 2 stones. And that's going to be the case for both these players. And usually the map generation, from what I have seen on this map oftentimes in the past, is going to be pretty consistent, you know? Like for instance, over here on the left-hand side, Somero's got 1 side-ish, forward-ish gold, and 1 on the back. Meanwhile, on the right-hand side, Argh's going to have kind of the same as well. And it's going to be the same for the stone as well. So it's a very consistent and pretty fair map generation, I would say, for both these players. Scout goes down, though, for Argh already, but he does have 2 additional scouts coming over. Both these players going for scouts in the FUH, as you expect to see. Spearman already here for Somero to defend himself with. And now it's looking alright. Yeah, there we go. In the end, Somero is able to defend himself really well. KD is 1-1 right now for both these players. And Argh is going for more scouts. Somero is going for more scouts as well. We'll see if Argh's got it in himself to get any damage done over here. Could anybody do exclamation mark Elo Argh, by the way? I don't think this player I have seen before. Somero I have. Argh, I don't recall too much. And here come the scouts! Argh's going to try and target 1 with a heal advantage over there. Shouldn't take too long for the villager to go down, and she will crumble, and another villager goes down. From the red player so far, 2-0 EQKD favoring the blue player. Meanwhile, Somero, he does have his own scouts over here. And you know what? It's been a very good unit control from Argh, that he's been able to garrison the villagers inside the house over there, and he's been able to prevent taking any losses. And in the end, not a single villager goes down from the blue player. He's only going to end up getting a little bit of idle villager time over there, and he brings the scouts back to defend himself against Somero's units. And all of a sudden, the blue player's looking stronger with 4 extra workers compared to Somero. If you were to judge the series just based on game 1, you would probably predict Somero to take this one 3-0 probably. But maybe even 3-1, right? But game number 2 is certainly showing that Argh definitely is not going to be the one to give up easily. It's not going to be the one. Stop trying, and at this point he's already managed to get a much better position for himself compared to Somero. There we go. Yeah, and Argh's going back. Can one seem to show the better strat winning, but not necessarily the better player? Yeah, I think that's a very nice way to put it. Yeah, I would agree. It seemed extremely off for Argh, game number 1 that is. And now Somero, struggling big time. Argh's got a lot of scouts over here left still. So he cleans up the units from Somero for the most part. There's still about 3 spearmen for the red player. But that is a lot of scouts. And Argh is out and looking for trouble. He loses 1 scout over there. Somero is just going to call the GG. 17 minutes into the game. Somero grants game number 2 to Argh, who's going to equalize the series over here. And you know what? Now we have a 4-game series guaranteed. Let's go through the achievements really quickly, and we'll jump into game number 3 right away because this one was very quick. We do not need to play a commercial. We have a 2-to-1 kill ratio for Argh. We're going to see for economy a stronger economy in the end for Argh as well. Collecting 700 extra resources, much better KD. Higher worker count over here towards the end of the game as well. Just looking very good. The red player crumbled in game number 2, and Argh was definitely the one to look the strongest over here. Once again, if you were just to assess the series by taking a look at game number 2 only, you would say, okay, Argh is definitely 2-0 up right now, right? He's probably on his way to take the series with a clean sweep, but we know better. We know that this could very well go the distance, and we'll see. For the time being, let's go back and load into game number 3. And here we go, guys. Welcome everyone then. Let's not waste a second. Game number 3 is gonna take place on Houseboat. This fantastic map. It's going to be one of the favorite maps for viewers. Quite literally a nightmare for players instead. And what do we get then for game number 3? Well, Argh is playing down the south of the map. He's playing the blue color and he's playing with Lithuanians. Somero, on the other hand, is playing up in the north. He's playing in the red color. He's playing as Malay. And for the civilizations, we'll see that Argh gets with this one 150 extra food upon starting the game. He's gonna get also 10% faster movement skirmish spearland units. And 1 extra attack on Knights and Light Shepherd, which really garrison up to 4 relics, up to 4 attack. This is a matchup that we actually already saw in the past, and I do not think there was necessarily a one-sided result for this too much. I think we have seen the players trade pretty evenly with these civilizations. I recall seeing Malay win at the very least once. I recall seeing Lithuanians win at the very least once, so I wouldn't go as far as to say that one civilization is going to be unbeatable over here. Regardless though, we talked about Argh civilization. Let's go and talk about the red players. For Somero, the Malay will give him 66% faster research in ages. He's gonna get a 30% discount, 33% discount on fish traps that provide 300% additional food. He gets with Malay also 30 and 40% cheaper elephant units, battle elephant units in the castle and Imperial Ages. And for the team bonus, Malay will have 2 times as much line of sight from the docks compared to standard civilization. So that puts Somero in a very good position to potentially go for, and I'm talking about the red player over here, to potentially go for a dock around here. For instance, if he went for 1 forward right next to the fish, he will be able to collect from it. And then this dock will give him so much line of sight, actually probably close to the edge of the lake over here. That'd be really good. Hey, Santini! Hi, hi. Welcome back. How's it going? So far? Yeah, pretty even. Ate way too much? Well, it's not Christmas if you don't, right? If you're in the US, that's probably what you do in Thanksgiving, but that's what the rest of the world does in Christmas. For those who celebrate, of course. And I can say that, yeah, I did the same. Boy. And yesterday I ate way too much candy. I don't ever do that. I usually just eat vegetables every day. for the whole year and try to, you know, keep a healthy diet. But I guess Christmas is going to be Christmas and probably New Year. Those are going to be my cheat days, so to say. I'm already craving some vegetables though, so after the stream, I'm probably going to go and prepare something to eat. And break my fast, it's going to be 18 hours already. Yeah, actually, I think it's already 18 hours. Oh! Careful over there, Argh could have gotten trapped. He's gotten a little bit of scouting information. He already knows about the wall in the back for Somero. Let's take a look at the map generation. This is something that usually doesn't really matter too much but on this map, but let's take a look at what we get for the players. Argh. It's gonna have 1 stone on the back, 2 stones on the back. The gold is over here to the back as well. And I guess if he just goes for something like this, should be able to secure himself pretty easily, right? Wouldn't be too expensive. He'll be able to secure this one, an additional stone. Not so much this gold though, not so much this one, not so much the 4 ones either. Yeah, but going for something like this would be good. And let me take a look at this point of view, because I'm very curious as to what Argh's vision is like. Yeah, he's going for actually a lumber camp forward. This is going to give him some vision around the north at the pond to potentially spot Somero if he were to come over with a forward tuck, right? Meanwhile, Somero, interestingly enough, he did not go for the tuck forward. Yeah, and no walls are coming in just yet. The red player is very close to the corner of the map as well, so because he's got 1 gold over here on the back, 1 stone over here, stone, and the gold over here. If he were to go for some walls from here to here, like this, and then something like this, honestly, that'll be really good. He'll be able to secure these resources, and even the wool line on the back. Do they ever wall this map at all? Yeah, they do, oftentimes. But for the most part, it's going to be whenever they spawn very, very close to the edge of the map in a way that's going to allow them to go for very, very small, cheap walls. Otherwise, not so much. Okay, this duck's not too bad. Yeah, notice he gets a lot of extra vision now because of it. He's got Town Watch, and yeah, there's no way that Argh is ever gonna be able to get a sneaky dog whatsoever. Now Somero starts to get the walls up, and he's going for stone walls! He's going to make this one a little arena for himself again, and on the right-hand side, he's going for the walls. In a much, much better way than what I was suggesting, I think. Oh no, I think this is exactly what I was suggesting, right? Let's take a look down south. Argh is not going for the walls just yet. It doesn't seem like anyone is particularly interested in sending villagers forward. Never mind. Never mind, Somero already has a villager coming in. But he's going to run straight into the barracks from Argh. Come on, man. Rip. Yep. Now the player knows. To be fair, though, Argh already had pretty good vision in front of his pond, so it seems unlikely Somero will be able to get any damage down over here. Malay Dog, line of sight OP. It can be really good. He even went for Town Watch, right? Which makes it so much stronger as well. And up until this point, we haven't really seen too much damage. The scout has taken a lot of losses over here from Argh. There we go. Somero does end up cleaning it up. And I imagine the scout probably lost HP trying to get a villager down, right? Yes. So Argh tried to target this villager. Couldn't get the villager down. In the end, ended up losing a lot of HP on the scout. The scout went down. And now we'll see. Somero, he's got the 4 villagers still, though. You know, just because Argh had vision technically of the villager earlier doesn't mean that he saw the unit. If he was not paying attention to this part of the map at that point in time, Somero might actually have gotten away with the sneaky talk over here. So let's take a look. Yes, check this out. Talk's coming up way beyond Argh's point of view. Yes, sir. And now, Argh's realizing about the stone walls up in the north. I don't think he knows about the right-hand side ones, but he's going to realize about it very soon. And my man, Somero is looking so strong over here with the second dock already on the way, and Argh completely clueless about this. This could be absolutely fantastic for the red player. And it will be. Second fire galley is on the way. Meanwhile, we have a single dock over here for the blue player, which means it's going to take some time for him to react to this. Castle Age is on the way for Argh. Somero will click out to the Castle Age very soon, so long as he does it before Argh gets to 40% of his way to the Castle Age, then it's still going to be faster for Somero. And yeah, it's going to be faster for Somero in the end. Extra fire galleys. Meanwhile, Argh's gonna try and go for his own fire galley, but this is so little, so late. So long as Somero plays his cards right over here, he should be the one getting the most damage done. It's a standard efficient shift, so they will go down pretty quickly. We see some. There we are. Let's take a look. Beautiful. Yeah, if he plays his cards right, he should be able to secure this pond for the most part. He's gotta go and try to find a transfer ship as well. If he gets a transfer ship, that puts, you know, Argh in a very precarious position, as he won't be able to transfer the villagers over. They are going to remain idle underneath the TC over here once he gets to the castle age. Because Somero gets the next stage faster, he's going to go for war galleys so much earlier compared to Argh as well, and now the bull player finally gets there, but he's got a single dock to work with. He needs to make a decision, right? Do you go for extra units or do you actually go for the upgrades? And he's not going to be able to go for either one, honestly, because right now with the war galley upgrade already here from Somero, yeah, it doesn't seem like there is a way back for Argh to get his starting pawn back. We have the crossman upgrade though for the bull player, the Balkan arrow upgrade as well, but because we already saw that Somero is completely walled off over here, it's unlikely that Argh will be able to do much of anything. With the crossbows, Somero is very far away from the walls, so he's not going to get targeted over here by the crossbows. Instead, we see Argh go for the second and third TCs. He's going to give up on the fishing ships, he's going to give up on the water economy over here, he's going to give up on his starting TC as well. You know, and this is awkward. I guess it's probably the best you can go for given the situation, but it's still going to put you in a very grim spot, and the game is not looking the best for Argh right now. Damn. Second TC on the way now for Somero as well. He's got the university coming up. No land units coming in from the red player whatsoever, but you know, if he gets enough war galleys over here, he'll take the TC down, and he'll actually be able to take the archer ranges down, and even this TC down as well. I do not really understand though why Argh would go for the TC over here. I mean, I understand that it's right next to two resources, the stone and the gold, but without water control, it doesn't really matter. The TC goes down to war galleys anyway. The villagers get pushed away by war galleys anyway. We'll probably have liked to see the TC come up maybe right next to this stone perhaps, right? Or this gold maybe. That would certainly have put the bull player in a better position to secure some extra economy. Yeah, probably around here would have been better. The second and third TCs compared to where he's gone for them. Now. Go, the crossbows from Argh. Still trying to put pressure, unlikely to achieve much of anything in. I mean, 34 population for Argh. Honestly, what can you really do from this position? I don't think there's anything for the bull player left to do over here. I think this is just going to be 2-1 for Somero. It's just a matter of time, really. Like, the game's going to snowball for sure. Especially now that Somero's got the third TC up. Once he takes the TCs down over here, Argh's going to be only left on one, and because of this one being kind of useless for the Bull player, he is really producing just from 2 TCs at most, right? Like, he cannot really do anything by producing from this TC. I think this is actually a misclick. Yeah, there we go. He cancels the villager. So at this point, in terms of effective economy, Somero is producing from 3 TCs, Argh is producing from 2 TCs. By the time this one goes down, and it's not going to be too long from now, that's going to leave Argh only on 1 TC, and Somero is just in a much better position over here. He's playing a completely different game right now. Somero is playing Tycoon over here, and Argh is... Honestly, I have no idea what Argh is playing right now. It's not good. It's not good. He's done the best he could, but it's not good. Honestly, fairly surprised Argh has not called the GG yet, considering the score difference. There we go. Villagers coming up now. For Argh. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. What is Blue ever going to do from this position? It's just impossible. We have barracks coming out now for Somero's just gonna try to pry the game out of Argh's dying hands, but not quite dead. What do you have on the left hand side? On the red player? A goose. Oh, 2 geese. Alright. Fish boom enemy island? Yeah. This is so much better for Somero. I am not exactly sure what it is that Argh is waiting for over here before calling the GG. It seems to me like the Bull player is probably trying to tire Somero out. You know, sometimes if you play the punching bag over here, depending on the time zones from the players, that could be kind of strategic, but I don't know if Somero is actually really struggling too much to take this game. Let me take a look at the APM. Yeah, well, it's higher for Somero. Argh is kind of chilling right now. Monastery for Argh. Alright. Stables coming out for Somero. He already has the first one. He's got 3 additional ones coming up, and he's got battle elephants on the way. Yes, sir. Argh, he's got a single monk. So if Somero gets more than 2 elephants out, that's already going to compensate for the possibility of conversions. Here come the chunkers, guys! Argh is completely unable to defend his economy against this. Yeah, and the villagers start crumbling right now, and there you go, the GG comes up over here. So it just took some sort of pressure on land from Somero to get the GG out of Argh, but in the end he does end up taking this one. That's going to put Somero up 2-1, and it's going to make game number 4. And game number 4 was always going to be match point, of course, but yeah, certainly puts us in a very interesting position. This is not live, no, these games are from recorded sets from earlier. Let's go through the achievements then one more time before jumping into game 4. Could very well be the last one, of course. Starting with military, we'll see that the red player ended up getting a much better KD, and my lord, 34-1 KD. That is absolutely ridiculous. A much stronger economy for Somero, not particularly struggling against Argh too much, collecting 10,000 extra resources. Now, 10,000 extra resources, when players have collected over 100,000 resources each, is something. But then 10,000 extra resources when one of the players has collected 14,000 total is something completely different, right? For Society, it's much better for Somero as well in the end. He ends up almost doubling Argh for Villager max over here. However, because he was the only player going for fishing ships as well, he was in the end significantly over twice the work account compared to Argh. Well done. Yeah. Here we are. Welcome everyone then to game number. Let's fix this. Welcome everyone to game number 4. That was a funny game. That was pretty interesting. Yeah, the client music in the background, I think that is on purpose. I have the game music playing during the stream in the background. It should be pretty faint though, actually. It might be a little bit louder than it usually is right now. Let me fix that. There we go. That's usually the volume that we have it at. It should be low enough that you can hear it if you want to listen to music, to the game music, but it should be low enough that you should still be able to pretty easily overpower it with basically any other music of your choice if you want to listen to music while listening to the stream as well. At the very least, that is the plan anyway. For game number 4, once again, the map is going to be Serengeti, and we have Argh playing with Tatars. We have Somero playing with Mongols. On the right-hand side, Argh with Tatars is going to get 25% higher attack on his own units when fighting from a higher elevation, on top of the standard heal advantage. And thank you for the follow, appreciate it, welcome, welcome. Hope you guys are having a good time so far. And then on top of that, we're going to see for the bull player also, free thumb ring, free Parthian tactics. It's gonna have 50% extra food from each herdable unit, as well as 2 additional sheep underneath each new ability C, starting in the castle age. For the team bonus, Tatars also get 2 extra line of sight on cavalry archetype units, and then Somero on the other hand with his civilization is going to have 40% faster working hunters, 30% extra HP, unlike cavalry, hussar, and step lancer line units, as well as 25% faster attacking cavalry archetype units. And for the team bonus, Mongols will have 2 extra line of sight, which will allow him to get scouting a little bit earlier. He's already starting to push some of the ostrich over here, and everything's looking just fine for Somero, and everything's looking just fine for Argh as well. Going for the map generation next, as we usually do. Let's take a look at the bull player first, and what do we get? He's got the main goal on the back, which is absolutely fantastic. Let's get the secondary goal forward. Meanwhile, for stones, we're going to have the main one on the back towards the right-hand side, and the secondary one's going to be towards this, the northwest. Should be able to, yeah, pretty much, there we go. Secure these resources on the back pretty easily, going for some walls, perhaps. Maybe this stone not so much, but if he goes for something like from here to here, for instance, towards the berries. I'm not really sure if he would want to connect the front of his base, but even just something as small as this would be enough for him to secure the gold already. And then if he goes for something like from here to the stone and then from here to the TC, he will be able to secure a wool line as well, which would be fantastic. Meanwhile, for the red player, on the other hand, we'll see that he's got the main gold forward, so it's not quite as good. On the right-hand side, we have the secondary goal over here as well, and then the main stone is on the back towards the west. He's got secondary stone up in the north. It seems kind of like it, right? For the most part, yeah. It's not quite as good. Argh's map generation this time around seems to be much better. If Somero wanted to secure himself over here, secure some of the resources, he would have to go for the walls towards the edge of the map over here, which are pricier and more time consuming compared to the walls that Argh would have to go for. And he wouldn't be able to secure anywhere near as much, right? The stones, the golds over here are going to be exposed. Just the main stone on the back is going to be good, and maybe the wool line, right? And that seems about it. Is this a John Madden of AoE? That never gets old. Let's see. Yeah, it's coming up already for Somero. It's coming up for Argh. Sometimes I still get surprised by people getting surprised about the annotations. I've been doing it for years, but of course there's always going to be new people discovering the channel from time to time. There's always going to be new Age of Empires viewers, so that's natural, right? And then there's always going to be somebody who has never seen your stream and is going to come in brand new to it. I would imagine actually some of you might be coming into the channel for the first time, right? Most likely. And thank you for the follow. Very much appreciated. Welcome to the channel. I hope you're having a good time so far. So FLH is here ready for Somero. He did go up faster. He's playing with Mongols. This is what we expect. He's got a stable already up and scouts already on the way. Spearman is even coming up for him. Meanwhile, Argh is taking so much longer, but he's got the stable on the way now as well. He's got into the FLH. Let's see. Yeah, that's a question. You know, I'm going to ask this not only to my Twitch viewers right now. Who here is new to the channel, is watching my channel for the first time? I'm asking you. I'm asking this to my live Twitch viewers right now, and I'm asking this to my YouTube viewers right now as well. Who watching this set on my YouTube channel is watching my channel for the first time? I would imagine probably not too many, because it doesn't seem to me like this is probably going to be a set that's going to attract a lot of new viewers. Probably just going to be the current subscribers, but I'm curious, you know, you never know. I feel like I watched maybe a handful of times before. Third time, I think. Alright, alright. Yeah, still pretty new. I see. Nice. I'd imagine somebody here might be watching for the first time. Yeah, there we go. Magica. Welcome to the channel. And welcome back to the channel to you guys, even if you watched a few times already. There's pressure coming in from Somero. Is going to be the one calling the shots over here with the forward spearmen and forward scouts over here. He actually gets more units around compared to Argh, despite the defender's advantage. First time here, only got 20,000 channel points. I feel new. First time right now. Yeah. I've never been here before. Yeah, Turner, that seems about right. A lot of scouts over here. Somero's gonna try and take the engagement now. He's got a lot of extra units. Taking a look at the HP pool over here. He's looking so much higher for the red player as well, despite the fact that the defender player over here, the bull player, should have the upper hand playing defensively against Somero's units. The hit start to the FLH was so good for Somero that it seems like he's actually coming out on top. And take a look at that. We're gonna see FLH going down already. Not quite. He's being extremely careful not to take an engagement with the spearman from Argh still around. But he's roaming around with the scouts over here, still outnumbering the bull player. Not so much anymore. The HP pool is still higher for the red player though, and it's just remarkable to me that Somero was able to put so much pressure over here and pretty much offset for Argh's defender's advantage. Now he's taking advantage of the hill over here as well, and he's doing a really good job. He's trying to prevent Argh from taking advantage of his civilization bonus. Notice how he tries to camp the hill over there for a moment. The spear will be enough to finally push the scouts away from Somero, but in the end, yeah, this is actually not too shabby, and both players are going to stabilize very soon. Yep. I think the game stabilizes right now. It was looking so good for Somero. He didn't really keep production up quite as much. So now it's going to be Argh the one putting pressure. I think I missed my 20,000 bonus for following. Third time I can remember, but I found this channel on my follow channel bar last week. So it must have been more. Probably. By the way, what a beautiful name. Africa by Toto. AoE. Was Africa by Toto taken already without the AoE suffix? I'm curious because that seems like it could have been a really nice name. just in general. Oh, it was taken already. Ah, I see. Alright. The game stabilized. Argh is looking a little bit better right now. He's got extra workers. Somero did end up racking up a little bit of extra idle TC time. For Argh, he's got not only a lower idle TC time, but he's got more military units right now and a better KD. This is there a pattern over here? You know, we saw in game number 1, Somero come out on top. And in game number 3, Somero come out on top, but those were not quite conventional maps for the most part. Argh, you know, kind of struggled on those, but he seems to be doing a little bit better on more conventional, standard-looking maps, right? Might be the case. Maybe. That would in any case result in a full series though, so cannot be too upset about it. Nice raid coming up now for the Bull player. He's finally getting to some exposed economy from Somero, but it doesn't seem like he'll be able to get too much damage done with it. One village goes down, yes sir. But that is 7 scouts. And one of the villages he was targeting originally actually got to very low HP, but in the end survived. This one. You on the right hand side, we have Spearmen for the most part for Somero. He's got some scouts still. Has not been able to get too much damage done so far, 1-1. Okay, it seems like we saw one village go down over here from the Bull player, around the wood line. There we go. Beautiful. Fantastic. Another village goes down. And another one! He gets to doink. Argh's got a lot of damage to compensate for over here. The quick ones though coming in from Somero. Saving his lumberjacks and lumberjills over there. At the very last second, 7 scouts got completely denied of the blood they were looking for. Beautiful awareness from Somero over there. Well done. There we go. Hey, no, it's not looking too bad. Beautiful. There we go, the scout. Get cleaned up from Somero. Now it's going to be Argh, the one left, on a much, much larger military count. And even though Somero did rack up a lot of extra LTC time because of the extra villager kills he's been able to get up until this point, he's actually able to stay ahead actually in working count. Let's take a look at gather economy time. Looking significantly higher for Argh though, so we'll see if he can clutch this one up and force a full series. Seems like it might be the case. Yes, sir. The scouts are going down now from Somero. He's got some spearmen, though. So Argh's got to be wary of this. He's got to respect the defenses from Somero. And the best in control over there for the Bull player. And that was in one of the archers to the TC. But he's making a transition to something else as well. So archers for Argh. He's got scouts still. 8 scouts. 5 archers. If he can group his army up, he should be able to take this no matter what Somero goes for, right? The red player right now, he's got only 3 scouts, so that's not going to do much of anything. Even against 5 archers, the scouts are most likely going down because not all of these are full HP. The spearmen go down as well to the archers, or at the very least that should be the case, and this is a very risky engagement though for the Bull player. He does end up clearing everything out, but still ended up taking a lot of losses in HP, but it does not matter. The momentum he got from cleaning out the majority of the units from Somero, who was trying to be greedy and save for the castle age instead, will be enough for Argh to take game number 4. And guys, we have, for the first time in a while, another full series for the round of 36. It was interesting because when we started providing coverage for this tournament, we saw, you know, full series after full series after full series, and then all of a sudden it seemed as if we, you know, ran out of good sets. I don't know if that's possible, but every new series that we started casting was not quite as good, and now it seems that we are finally getting back in shape. So Argh versus Somero, we're gonna get a full set over here. Let's go for the achievements one more time before going for the final game of the series. Let's see for me turn. By the way, that ding dong alert that you hear, that indicates commercials are coming if you're watching this on Twitch. For me, Tari, we're gonna see a higher KD for Argh in the end. The stronger economy as well, collecting about 900 extra resources makes a big difference when the economy is so small like this. And there we are, Society for Somero. Looking a little bit stronger. He did get one extra villager towards the end of the game, but of course with the momentum that Argh had coming towards Somero's side of the map, that was probably not going to remain like this for much longer. And here we go, guys. Welcome everyone once again. Game number 5. First time in a while, we're gonna get another full series, and because of this main 45 clearing this good, you know, this map certainly lends itself to longer games, and this could be quite a long one. We'll see. But yeah, I'm happy that we get to full series once again. Open mass Somero's travels. Yeah, that seemed to be kind of the pattern, right? Games number 1 and 3 where Somero was able to wall himself. He was able to, well, to be fair, game number 1 maybe not, or game number 3 rather, maybe not so much. It was houseboat. Somero was able to sneak around, so the strategy over there was very good. Strategy on game number 1 was very good. Games 2 and 3 were a little bit more conventional maps, and Argh seemed to shine. But now we have this one, which is going to be a little bit of a mixture between both things. We have a little bit of a conventional map over here in the sense that it's going to reminisce Arena, and most players are going to have some experience on this. But it's also going to have the peculiarity that on the back of each player, there are no walls. Usually 45 clearing would have the walls, like this. Right? But on this version for T90 Titans League, that is actually not going to be the case. So I'm not really sure who's going to get favored by this map. Of course, you do have the possibility of going forward, putting pressure from behind. You do have the possibility of just playing this one like standard arena if Somero is to go for stone walls towards the edge of the map as well, the way that we saw him play in game number 1. So I guess you could say this is a semi-closed map, right? Still going to require some effort, some input from the players to secure himself. I took a 5-minute shower break and the last game ended. Yeah. Happens. I think Somero has better strategies and Argh the stronger execution. This map seems to favor the strategist. Alright. So we have some discrepancies over here in the chat already. Let's see. Somero fast castle to stone walls and build to imp again. That is probably what I'm expecting. He's playing with Bohemians over here, a very strong civilization for arena type maps, and even though Argh's got Teutons, which are very strong on arena as well, I would put the Bohemians on top. If you're just to talk about the civilizations, right, I would rate the Bohemians a little bit higher compared to the Teutons. However, there's something that I always say. It's more so about the players than it is about anything else, than it is about the map generation, than it is about the civilization, the matchups, right? On paper, you can have one thing, and then in practice, you can have something completely different. So it's really going to be up to the players. It really will be. We have seen this already so many times. Taking a look at the civilizations, the bonuses, what each player is going to get from the save that they have gone for. Argh with Teutons will get 40% discount on farms. Is it 40 or 33%? I forgot if it got changed. I think it's 33% cheaper farms. But it's going to be cheaper farms for the Teutons no matter what. He has the ability to gather some 5 and 10 extra villages inside towers and TCs from where he can shoot 4 and 5 extra arrows. I was going to have, in addition to that, free murder holes. 40%, there you go, thank you, Turnip. Free murder holes, he's going to have free herbal medicines as well. In addition to twice the healing range on monks, and they also have, in addition to that, 1 and 2 extra melee armor on barracks and stable units per age, starting in the castle age, right? So it's going to be +1, +2 in the castle and imperial ages respectively. For the team bonus, Teutons will have conversion resistance on their units, which increases the minimum and maximum conversion times by 1 and 2 seconds and decreases conversion chances by half. So it makes it much more likely that it's going to be the max time, right? Somero playing with Bohemians, on the other hand, is going to get free gold mining upgrades. He's going to have a 100 wood discount on blacksmiths and universities, as well as access to chemistry and hand cannoneer in the castle age, and we also have for Bohemians Sanctity and Fervor affecting villagers, in addition to 25% higher bonus damage from spearline units against enemy units. Well, for the team bonus, markets work 80% faster for Bohemians, and I think that's it from both civilizations, right? Are scouts stronger or weaker on this map than arena? I would say it's kind of comparable. It really depends on how the players decide to go about this, because if they try to play this one as arena by going for the relic war, the scouts are going to be a lot more relevant. If you try to make use of the scouts to put pressure with by going around the outside of the map, I think it's going to be stronger as well. I would say it's stronger overall, but I think it's the same than arena at the center, and it's stronger if you decide to go for the scouts forward around the outside. So I would say it's stronger overall, but at the center is just going to be like standard arena. You have your 5 relics over here. Outside you have 4 relics. They are all on the right hand side by the looks of it. But yeah, if they are stronger overall a little bit, I guess that favors the Teutons, right? They might not get even light cavalry. They are kind of stuck to scout cavalry only, but he does get bloodlines, for instance. He does get plate bard in armor. Meanwhile, Somero doesn't get bloodlines, doesn't get plate bard in armor. That is without taking into account the extra armor that stable units get from Teutons as well. So for scouts alone, yes, Teuton scouts are definitely going to be stronger compared to Bohemian scout units. However, of course, remember that spearline units from the Bohemians, they do deal 25% higher bonus damage. So you do not want to fight the Halberdier in Somero. Somero is most likely going to make a play like that. It's probably going to be a Halberdier, hand cannoneer, and bombard cannon. Into who needs, I would imagine. Argh, on the other hand, playing with Teutons, will struggle against Halberdier if he is to make a play for cavalry. So it's probably going to be his own infantry. Is probably going to go for his own hand cannoneer, his own bombard cannons as well. But you know, there's a reason Bohemians are usually more favored. They are just the unit choices for Bohemians on a map like this is so good. Fast cuts from both these players. Argh's gonna be the one to be there first. We'll see what he does with it. Let's get a market and a blacksmith, so he's not gonna start going for scouts by the looks of it. There you go. And barracks on the way now for Argh. So he could try to make a play for scouts, but it's coming in so late. Somero already has the barracks up, already has the stables up. Already has first scout queued up. Where's the OG one? Somero took a little bit of damage over there. The scout got chipped. Beautiful castle age here for Somero. Now the stable's already out for Argh finally. He's got a monastery. We have the monasteries on the way for Somero. He's going for a double monastery though. Alright. This is very interesting. Argh scouts on paper are going to be stronger now in the castle age. They already get one extra melee armor. You take a look at this. Yeah, and it's not quite as good. We have only pierce armor for the scouts from Somero. He's go for scaled barley armor just to catch up to Argh, and then if Argh goes for scaled barley armor himself, he already gets to +2. Extra TC on the way for the bull player. No extra TCs for Somero though. Interesting. Sanctity and Fervor coming in right away, as well as Light Cavalry. He's going 1 TC, guys. He's going 1 TC, and I don't know. Okay, there we go. Second TC's on the way. I think it was just missing the wood, right? I wasn't really sure if that was going to be a good thing for Somero or not. Interestingly enough, Argh actually does manage to get the first relic over here, despite the fact that Somero was going for the double monasteries. That's just by virtue of Argh getting to the castle significantly earlier and being able to queue the monk a little bit earlier as well. Second monk going up in the north. He should be able to collect this one as well. Then there's going to be only one left out for grabs, and it seems like Somero is going to be on 2. It seems like Argh is going to be on 2. Where is it? Oh, no. 2 to 1, 2 to 1. Never mind. There are 2 still left. For grabs. Nice snipe over there, though, from Argh. Taking one of the monks down from Somero. Somero still has another monk over there. It's going to be right next to the relics over there. So he's trying to get a better engagement before he commits to collecting the relic. Why? Because if you were to take the relics right away, then the scouts would still be left alive and they will be able to take the monk down. In the end, the monk does go down though. Conversion does not connect, and it seems like Argh's still gonna be looking a little bit stronger. He's got his own monk going forward. He's gonna try and go for the farther relic, this one. Somero is letting Argh in. Argh is actually gonna choose not to come in. It can be kinda risky, of course. Meanwhile, we have the 30C on the way for both these players. One from Somero, one for Argh. And the villager count's looking a little bit better for Argh right now. See if he can keep up with this. Got wheelbarrow on the way. He's got better eco upgrades overall as well. He's got bowsaw. Somero, not so much. And it's taking a while for the 30C to come out for Somero. Conversion's coming in. That's kind of risky. He's trying to convert Teuton scouts. The one thing that Teutons kind of struggle with though is that because they do not get the light cavalry upgrade, they take monks down with 3 hits from the scout cavalry, right? As opposed to only 2. So it's going to take longer to get the monks down, but it should still be very much favorable for the Teuton player. And it will be 400 resources down the drain. A single conversion connects over there, but in the end, yeah, the scout gets taken down over there. You know what? You know what? That was a very, very nice trade. In the end, for the player getting the monks down over there. Of course, Argh is now looking a little bit stronger even in economy with about 7 or actually 3 extra workers, what I'm talking about, and he will be the first one to go up to the Imperial Age. So this is very interesting. Once again, remember, it's not really going to be so much about the sips. This does feel like a sip win. I'm liking Argh's position over here quite a bit. And Somero's gonna try to mitigate this a little bit. It's gonna box with a bear first off. Yep. Look at the woman, she's got the eye of the tiger. She takes the bear down. And yeah. Now the walls are coming up for Somero. Beautiful. These are so much better at scouts. They can't really cope with Huvnitsa though, surely. Well, that's the thing, right? Bohemians should be, on paper at the very least, a stronger civilization for a map like this. Once you get to the Imperial Age, you get to Halberdier Huvnitsa. That's going to put Argh in kind of a precarious position. But once again, really depends on the players. Right now, Argh's going to be the first player to the Imperial Age by quite a bit. If you take a look at resources, Somero doesn't seem to be particularly close to going up. So let's check. Yeah, Halberdier, Bombard Cannon, Huvnitsa, right? Potentially Hand Cannoneer from the Bohemians, he can potentially go for that. And while the Teutons can also do that, just a Huvnitsa is going to give Somero the lead, right? For everything else, Argh's going to be able to go for the same stuff. Yeah, and that's key. If he gets to Huvnitsa on paper, Somero is going to have stronger tools to work with against Argh than the bull player. For the C on the way now for Argh as well. Somero is gonna stick to 3 TCs for the time being. He's falling behind the village count a little bit further. And there's a sneaky monk over here from Argh. How long has this monk actually been? Hold on. Let me track the monk over here for a moment. Where's the monk coming from actually? Holy crap. I think Somero didn't realize about this. Okay. I don't think he can go and take the relics, right? Nah, this is already completely walled off. Yeah, that monk's going down eventually. I'm not really sure how it managed to go to the very back over there, but it's already walled off on the left and right hand sides. So Somero should be able to collect the relics over here on the right hand side. In the end, Argh was able to collect the relics up in the north. The castle extra range can reach the Huvnitsa. Yes, it can. You can reach Huvnitsa with crenellations. But of course, it's not going to be strong enough against castles and Somero against trebuchets. Sorry, and Somero already has enough stone to go for a castle and start going for trebuchets themselves. So let's take a look. Argh gets to the Imperial Age. He's got chemistry on the way right now, and because Somero can't start researching it before he gets to the Imperial Age, he will have access to Hand Cannoneer and Bombard Cannon basically right away. He's got the castle on the way. Only 2 scouts from Argh will not be enough to prevent the castle from coming up. So in the end, Somero's gonna be fine over here. And Argh still waiting about 40 seconds before he even gets access to Hand Cannoneer, before he even gets access to Bombard Cannons. Yeah, exactly. This is basically going to go the same way that it used to go for the Indians back in the day on Arena. Just Halberdier, Hand Cannoneer, Bombard Cannon is going to be the exact same thing from both these players, and the only thing that's going to be different between these players is that Argh's Halberdier will get extra melee armor, which is not going to be relevant because Somero is not going to go for... It's not gonna try and engage the Halberdier, right? It's gonna try to take those down with a Hand Cannoneer and Huvnitsa potentially. And then the Halberdier from Somero, they will get higher bonus damage, but of course, it's unlikely that we're going to see a Teton player go for Knights. So we do have Crenulations on the way for Argh already. That's going to give this castle extra range. There we are. It's going to give the castle 2 extra range if I'm not mistaken, right? Oh, was it 3 actually? Let me take a look. Yeah, he's got the range coming up. There we go. It's going to be 3. Yeah, 3. So that's already 11. He gets 2 more from Balkan Arrow. That's going to be 13. Yeah, so it is enough. And we have the Hunt Cannoneer coming out over here. Somero is going for the composition we were expecting to see. And yeah, very good decision making from Argh to go for Crenulations over there. Somero's reaction though is very good. He realizes about it right away and bails. So he's going to have to start going for Ro36 in order to take the castle down. And then he's going to use the Bombard Cannons to defend the Ro36 with. So it's going to delay Somero's push a little bit, but not by too much. Now, on paper, once again, the Bohemians should be stronger over here. We'll see if Argh will be able to clutch it up or not. We have Hand Cannoneer coming out for the blue player. It took him a lot longer to get to the units he needed. He's got the Bombard Cannons over there. Fighting the Bombard Cannons from Somero as well. And there is Siege Engineers coming in from the red player. Meanwhile, blue, on the other hand, does not have it yet. He's not going for it. He's going for Masonry. Oh, careful. Churishi could go down to the Bombard Cannons over here. All Argh's got to do is, there we go. One shot it with the 3 Bombard Cannons and just keep these units at bay. Make sure that the Bombard Cannons from Somero do not have the possibility of taking those down instead. Conscription is going out for Somero as well. He's taking his time, not going for Nisa yet. His economy is not strong enough for it yet. However, I imagine we're going to see it come up in a moment. Hey, Rosa. Feliz Navidad to you too, as well. I hope you had a good time. Do Teutons get like block printing in Redemption? They do. They get the full monastery, and so do Bohemians. Both players could try and make a play for it. Up until this point, Somero is the only player who has the infrastructure to go for a heavy monk production. He's got double stables, double monasteries. We have a single one over here for Argh. Nice sniper there though. From Somero taking one of the Bombard Cannons down. He's got significantly more units. He's got Tovnice on the way though. And he's got Wagenburg Tactics. That makes a big difference as well. With Wagenburg Tactics, his gunpowder units move 15% faster. That's going to affect the Hand Cannoneer and the Bombard Cannons now, and the Hovnitsa very soon, of course. So the thing about this, though, is that's going to make the maneuverability of these units so much higher compared to Argh. It's 15% might seem low on paper, but take a look just visually at how much faster these units move. You know, like he can come in, he can get the shots out and bail at a much lower risk compared to Argh. Just like that, and that's another good shot. It's creating more distance. And now Hovnitsa's coming in 3, 2, 1. He's got it. And that is so much stronger as well. If he plays his cards right over here with some good ground attacks, he should be able to take the Bombard Cannons down. And even the skirmishes, and this is going to be so hard for Argh to play against. The dodgeball is not a fair game when one player is shooting cannonballs and the other player is shooting beach balls. Somero is in a much better position because of it. Yeah, you know, Argh's gotta be careful, man. He almost loses all 3 Bombard Cannons over there to a single shot. Here we go. Man, that is a lot of units. Trebuchets over here still trying to put pressure against the castle. And the HEATS are trying to provide protection to the trebuchets so that the bombard cannons from Argh do not take them. In the end, the castle crumbles over there. Some of the HEATS go down. Some of the bombard cannons go down, though. Only 2 left for Argh over here. He's got more population right now that he can actually sustain. Needs to go for a few extra houses, and the HEATS over here from the red player. You know, he's taking a lot of losses over here. To be fair, I don't think it's been the best unit control for Somero, but because he had significantly more units compared to Argh, in the end, he does end up coming out on top. It's gonna be the only player left with bombard cannons over here, the HEATS rather, at about 4. The red player, that is. Compared to nothing from Somero. Now that we don't have a defensive castle over here, sorry, compared to nothing for Argh, and now that the bull player does not have the defensive castle anymore, it seems to me like this could very well turn into a landslide. Yeah, everything's falling apart, you know. Somero is going to pull the threads. He's going to pull the stitches, and Argh's going to start falling apart at the seams. We even see Hassa wagons coming in now for Somero, and the momentum is real, guys. We might have a higher population overall for Argh. A lot of that's going to be just extra villages, while Somero on the other hand is going pretty heavily into halberdier, into hand cannoneer. He still has a good amount of HEATS to keep on working with as well. And I like it that he's actually trying to make use of the Hassa wagons. This is not actually a unit that we see a lot of people make use of. They have a particular ability that soaks damage. So if you have, it's kind of like a ram in a sense. So if you have your Hassa wagons in front of your army, any projectiles going past your Hassa wagons are actually going to deal only 50% of the damage, I believe, against your units. So it's actually very good. He's using this the way that they were intended to be used, kind of as a meat shield, or a wooden shield, I guess you could call it. And yeah, you know, I actually have not seen a whole lot of people make use of the Hassa wagons this way. But he's doing it, and the hand cannoneer are not anywhere near as effective. The skirmishers from Argh are not anywhere near as effective, of course, and we know the skirmishers will not work against the halberdier. They will not work against the HEATS. I love how the developers made the historic enemies, the Teutonic Order and the Holy Roman Empire, are good against Teutons without being OP against other civilizations. Yeah, I would imagine historical accuracy is probably not at the very top of priorities for the developers, but when it comes out well, it's always nice to see. Here you are. Yeah. And it seems to be an unstoppable ball of death from Somero. He's finally getting to 200 population very soon. Argh is crumbling right now, down to 150 pop or so, and the full skirmisher play has not worked in the last 10 minutes. I don't know why it would start working right now. So long as Somero can keep up with his push, same way that he's been able to do so up until this point, he should be the one taking this game, it seems to me. Blast Furnace coming out right now as well. As if it's strong, as if his push was not strong enough. 5 treasures over here, and there we go. Alright, let's go to tap out, guys. Throw the towel. As in the end of game number 5, Somero comes out on top after taking full advantage of his civilization's strengths. He takes the series with a final score of 3-2, while Argh, he certainly went down swinging, taking 2 games away from Somero over here in the more conventional maps for sure, but in the end gets knocked out of the Silver League. That means that Somero is going to be the one moving on to the round of 18 to play one of the decider sets to see who moves on to the Gold League. And Argh, on the other hand, not so much. Well played. Let's go through the achievements one final time over here. What do we see? For military, a very nice KD for Somero. Surpassing 9-5 and very, very close to 2-1. Is going to be also the one to get for economy. Strongest economy, collecting a lot of extra resource over here, but yeah, actually, sorry, Argh's gonna be the one with the stronger economy, right? Collecting about 7,000 extra resource, close to it. But not enough to offset for the much, much better performance and the great push coming in from Somero in this game. Well done! Somero 3, Argh 2.